has to be performed in a masjid, which means that a woman in her home, sitting there in a secluded room, that wouldn't be classified as i'tikaf. Nor if a person chooses a prayer hall in a mall or in a souk or in a residential building, that wouldn't be qualified as i'tikaf, though people pray there, because i'tikaf has to be in a masjid. What do we mean by a masjid? A full-fledged place devoted to Allah, that can't be sold, can't be rented, that can't be inherited. It is an endowment, it's a waqf. That is where you can make i'tikaf. So let's presume that there is a masjid where people pray 5 times a day, and it is a real masjid. However, they don't have a Friday there. It's not a jami'. In this case, one can make i'tikaf, but when the time for Friday prayer is due, he must leave and go and pray Friday in another adjacent masjid and come back soon afterwards. And wherever he sits in the masjid is permissible, whether it's in the roof or in the basement or in anywhere related to the masjid, that is fine. Now, i'tikaf, as stated before, was done by the Prophet ﷺ in the first 10 nights, then in the middle 10 nights, and it was finally settled to be done at the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And the Prophet used to do things in these 10 nights and perform and excel in worshiping Allah Azza wa Jal more than any other night during the whole entire year. And whenever Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wanted to offer ibadah and worship during the last 10 nights, as Mother Aisha says, whenever the 10 nights of Ramadan were due, the Prophet ﷺ would revive his nights by worshiping Allah and praying and doing dhikr. And he would wake up his family, his wives, so that they would also be encouraged to pray and offer forms of worship. And he would tighten his apron, his izar. And this has 2 meanings. Either it is a metaphor that indicates when the tough gets going, the going gets tough, he tightens his apron so that he would be, as a metaphor, to go full throttle in worshiping Allah Azza wa Jal and giving his best. The second meaning is that it is literal, that he was tightening his izar, he would not loosen it up, so that he would not have any intimacy with his wives in these 10 nights, because these 10 nights are totally devoted to Allah Azza wa Jal. And Aisha also stated, may Allah be pleased with her, that she knows nothing that the Prophet ﷺ had ever recited the Quran by entirely doing so in one night, nor he prayed the whole night until it was the break of dawn, nor he fasted any month completely except the month of Ramadan.